Nash Carter has been released by WWE. Sean Ross Sapp putting out a tweet a short while ago looking for confirmation of the news that he was getting. That came through a few minutes later. This means that Nash Carter, who along with Wesley, who only just won the NXT tag team titles, is now gone from WWE. This comes in the wake of some pretty horrendous allegations, doesn't it, Adam?
It certainly does. Kimberly has tweeted various times over the last week or so regarding allegations of abuse by Nash Carter. There was also a picture released today of Nash Carter a few years ago, where he had shaved his mustache to look like Adolf Hitler, and she tweeted saying this is the sort of person that he is, basically, which obviously WWE, on top of everything else that has been said, would be very worried about them damaging that damaging their corporate image, and WWE have clearly cut ties now. PW Insider reporting, while the context of the photo, not when it was taken, is obviously not clear, there is no way WWE was going to retain someone seen doing something so reprehensible. Carter's partner, Wes Lee, is still with the company at the time of this writing, but you've got to be, I really, really feel for Wes Lee here, because they're a unit, aren't they? They are the tag champions. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. I can't think of any time that a current champion has been released. You had RVD a fair while ago, who dropped the titles and then had the wellness policy suspension. So I really feel for Wesley, especially. We don't know the specifics of this, and I don't want to sit here and speculate about them. It's obviously an awful situation.
More news will no doubt come from this. A statement from WWE will no doubt follow as well. But that is our lead story in this late bulletin tonight. Nash Carter being released from WWE. A few other bits of news to talk about tonight, including some big plans for Roman Reigns. Now, it goes without saying that Roman Reigns is the centerpiece of WWE at the moment. I have to say, the image of him with both WWE title belts is quite, it's a good picture. It's a good image.
It's a good image. It's obviously some fans upset by it. I think he's doing personally amazing work. I was quite relieved to see him close Raw, although the promo was certainly nothing to write home about. He essentially just teased the fact that people should watch SmackDown on Friday to see what the next step is going to be. It is a powerful image, and he feels like a megastar. And this has sort of been, I guess, reaffirmed while appearing on The Town. WWE president, Nick Khan, was asked if Reigns could be the next crossover star for the company, just like The Rock, John Cena. And he said, we think he's certainly up there, and we have big plans with him to help him cross over, which we think will be great for him and certainly great to do with him. We think he has that. So I think this is to be expected, right? That he is an incredibly handsome, charismatic man who would fit right in Hollywood. And if they can bring the same thing that The Rock has brought to WWE with that massive crossover appeal, at the time, obviously, when Rock had that match with John Cena at Mania the first time around, it broke all sorts of records. And a huge part of that is due to Rock's crossover appeal and the huge Hollywood pictures that he has starred in.
I can't imagine, though, a time, right now at least, without Roman Reigns in the mix for WWE, because I remember back when The Rock got his break as the Scorpion King in 2001, and that took him away from WWF programming, and he was a real miss during that time. And Roman Reigns, but then at that point there were other people around. With this, like, Roman Reigns is your feature attraction, and a Hollywood career would take him. Yeah, he is there's that weird God mode T-shirt that he now has. It's something about
looks like someone off the market.
It does look a little bit, doesn't it?
It's not a superstar Roman T-shirt, but he certainly is a superstar. yeah, this is just no surprise at all. I guess really, like, although he's saying that, yeah, we're going to help him cross over, and I'm sure that's in the future. Right now, they want to keep him within the fold, right? Because he is, and with him having both belts, he is the what are they calling it? The unified universal champion, whatever it's called. The Uwu champion. They're going to want to keep him or put him on both shows. We saw him on Raw. We'll see him on SmackDown. And I think that's probably the plan moving forward. You are currently working, so I don't want to give too much away here, but you're working on a video of who could possibly dethrone Roman Reigns. Yeah. Chuck one name at me, the most likely in your mind.
Well, Doink the Clown, obviously.
Goes without saying.
Goes without saying. Absolutely. Now, moving on to Monday Night Raw, back to Monday Night Raw. We know Roman closed out the show, but Cody opened it, and it was the first time we'd seen Cody on Monday Night Raw in a long, long time. And it was a very heartfelt promo where we saw a photo of his dad holding up the WWF Championship, and the story that came from that, and kind of the impetus for Cody to march after the title. It was all wonderful to hear. And he was on the bump talking about that promo, and he said, quote, "I was just able to go out there and speak in an unscripted, raw fashion and tell a story about my dad that not everybody knows. I actually have the title I spoke about, but not everybody knows that story. That was my original impetus and whole origin story on wanting to be a wrestler. So to be able to tell the world, that was very special." So the interesting bit there is unscripted. We know that for better or for worse, WWE does tend to put a lot of words in the mouths of the performers. And Cody coming from a place where that wasn't the case, where they can just be a little bit more freewheeling. I'd be interested to see how long that goes on for with Cody. Like how long he'll be able to sort of do his own thing and march to the beat of his own drum in WWE.
I agree. He's a bit Marmite, isn't he? Some people like Cody is a very unique promo, I would say. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and I think he absolutely nailed it on Monday. But you can't be doing that each and every week. Obviously, he sowed the seed, of him looking for the WWE title. It makes total sense. He wants the top belt and everything. I feel like he's a guy that perhaps I'm gonna get flack for this. I think he needs reining in on his promos. I actually think he's somebody that, although that was absolutely magnificent, I loved the promo. I don't want to see him do that sort of thing every week. And I think some scripting. You're right. It's a difficult thing to talk about because it's WWE scripting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be enough from both sides heard and something formed from that, rather than it just being all of one or all of another. There's got to be a happy medium there. And I genuinely think with someone like Cody, you can find a happy medium.
I agree. It's great to see everybody on his side. It was one of the biggest moments of WrestleMania 38 weekend, and I hope that they can ride that momentum. But I think they have to be especially careful with Cody, because we've seen what's happened. We've seen what's happened before in AEW. Fans were organically turning on him. Who knows if that was going to lead to a heel run or not? But I think you do need to be very, very careful in the way that wrestler is presented.
More wrestling news and more on our top story. Nash Carter, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, has been released by WWE. More on this breaking story you will find right now at cultaholic.com.